Welcome to CBC Sports Reacts. It is May 5th. Happy Cinco de Mayo to my Chicano siblings all over the world. It's also the first Monday of May, which means it's Met Gala Day, an evening of decadence, high fashion. What the hell was that moment? And where Rihanna comes out once a year and makes us feel all inferior. You may be asking, what does the Met Gala have to do with sport? Well, unless you're living under a rock, from the streets to the field of play to the catwalk, athletes are making their names known in the fashion world. And joining me today in studio to talk about that beautiful marriage of sport and fashion is the Toronto-based fashion stylist, Andrea Rose. Not me practicing all day and then just panic.
You're great.
You're fantastic. You look beautiful.
Thank you.
I can see you. Do you do pro bono work? Oh, I do.
You do.
Thank you.
We look so dandy today.
I think. Oh, and she's kind of giving away the ghost. But we are talking, of course, about the Met Gala.
We are, yes.
This is your Roman Empire, your Super Bowl.
Yes.
You think about it every day.
Yes.
Tell us kind of what the Met Gala is.
So the Met Gala is actually a fundraiser. A lot of people don't know that. It is to raise money for the Costume Institute of the Metropolitan Museum in New York. It's a huge deal for a number of reasons, mostly because it's showcasing other different designers, their whole archival work, their body of work. Like I've been going to the Met when I can get my chance to go since I was young. I'm talking like grade 12. I was sneaking off on a field trip to go and see the Prada and Schiaparelli exhibit.
Okay.
Yeah. So
she been it and she been in it.
I've been in it.
Yeah.
But it's essentially just a showcase of all of the work. There's a theme every single year. So it plays into different things. Socioeconomic status, there's culture, there's religion sometimes, just decadence, and mostly the thing, and a lot of people wonder this, they see celebrities in attendance, and they're like, these tickets for tables and pricing is crazy.
$350K per table. So we do have that critique of being a little bougie and out of touch, but you did talk about theme, and this year's theme for the Costume Institute, their exhibit is called Superfine Tailoring Black Style, inspired by the work of Monica Miller, a book called Slave to Fashion, Black Dandyism, and Styling of Black Diasporic Identity. And the theme for the attendees is Tailored for You. Andrea Rose, what is dandyism? Describe it to me.
Okay, so every single year when the theme comes out, I do a deep dive on the history of it, of cultural influences, of exactly the author's work, or whoever it may be focused on. And Black dandyism as a whole, from what I've gathered, is essentially a self-expression. It's obviously a historical thing dating back 300 years to slavery. And I'm not any expert, but what I've gathered is that it's a big expression of tailoring, of style. Obviously, sometimes the dressing used to be like a political statement, which is amazing.
Exactly.
But there's a lot of influences, a lot of color, a lot of texture. Suiting and like menswear inspired on women is incredible. So even in like what I'm wearing a little bit and what you're wearing as well. So like pinstripes, pocket squares, hats, accessories, just, for me, I'm definitely like a more is more stylist. I've never been a minimalist once in my life. I don't ever plan to be. And this night is going to be basically like the epitome of that.
Yeah.
So
when I think dandyism, I think of my uncles. My
Fair,
uncles,
yes.
the Jamaicans. We call them freshies in
Yes,
Jamaica.
100%.
That's exactly kind of what I think. And of course, when we think Met Gala, we think Hollywood, music, fashion, elites. But athletes have been making their mark on the Met Gala. This year, Formula One's Lewis Hamilton, who shows up and shows out every year, was the co-chair with Anna Wintour, Pharrell Williams, Coleman Domingo, A$AP Rocky, and LeBron James is the honorary co-chair.
Of course he is.
With co-hosts like Sha'Carri Richardson and Angel Reese, many others to attend. And actually heard that LeBron James injured his knee and won't be able to make it. There was a tweet about it recently. I've just been informed. So he might not be there, but he's still honorary chair. So
that's crazy.
I know, a little crazy. Crazy. It just came out. It was a tweet. Don't worry, his wife will be there to hold down the fort. But why is sport and fashion so interconnected?
Oh my God. This is like a very, very loaded question that I can go on for forever. But to sum it up, in my opinion, I think it's just the rise of just different body types, I think, in a big way. A lot of the time in ad work and, in social media, in media spaces and entertainment, we used to see one type of body a lot of the time. And I think now with the rise of athletes and their brand deals and just more of them expressing themselves in the media and really showcasing like more of their personalities rather than their just insane athletic abilities. I think there's just this beautiful merge of it in the sense that they see the opportunity to do their interviews, to be wearing designers, to be, you know, spending that good athlete money on their looks, working with stylists, working with brands. Exactly.
Yeah.
And really just becoming the faces of it, similar to the same way that like an actor or a singer would, which is amazing.
Yeah, and that athlete catwalk when they arrive.
Yes.
What was it called?
The tunnel walks.
The tunnel walks.
The tunnel walks,
You
yes.
can see the evolution of sport and fashion just right there. And I often find that it's funny that they're exploring Black dandyism because when the sport has like a big Black population, predominantly Black, like in football or NBA,
100%.
the athletes really take the opportunity to show everything about them.
100%.
And honestly, we see that dandyism. But can you talk about the evolution of athlete style here at the Met Gala? Of course, Lewis Hamilton, we just said, shows up and shows out here.
100%. I mean, I think the evolution, even when I was looking for some photos that we were going to get into for looks later on, there has been a huge rise in it over the past 5 years. Like really pre-2019, we weren't really seeing many athletes other than like a Federer or Beckham, you know what I mean, that are kind of celebrities in their own sense already. So now we're seeing a lot of people like, oh my God, like Dwayne Wade, as well as with his wife Gabrielle, of course, like iconic power couple. We're seeing Angel Reese last year for, you know, the representation, I feel like, of the whole WNBA.
Brittany Griner was there.
Brittany Griner as well. There's just so many people that are coming through, and I love the fact that like the brands are really also kind of merging street style with them. We even saw like Odell Beckham Jr. He's attended multiple times. He's always like one that's kind of like popping in and out of my own Pinterest board. But like he's just so effortlessly cool. And I think that's the thing that athletes really bring is that, you know, the fact is a lot of their lives are spent in like Nike tech fleece and comfortable wear and athletic clothing. So it's really, really cool to see the contrast of them in like black tie and a gown. Like Serena Williams in so many of her looks, you know, you see her like really, really killing it on the court. And then when she steps out in like a stiletto, I'm like, okay. I love the range.
And what you're also seeing is that even in the field of their sport, especially in their team sport, you all have like to be cohesive. But now there's a push for like this individuality within your own like sports organization, and it looks really cool. Talking about your look book, tell me what are your favorite past looks from the Met Gala?
Oh my God, there's so many. I just mentioned Serena. She's attended multiple times. My first one, okay. So my first look is going to be the power couple that we've mentioned, Dwayne and Gabrielle. This is them in Versace. They always do the perfect like couple coordinating, very complimentary, never like too matchy. And I feel like they do this on their socials on their own. But this is them 2022, just looking absolutely stunning. I actually can't wait to see what they wear tonight. I'm positive that they'll be in attendance.
Yes.
I pray that they are, but they're iconic every single time. Serena, as we've mentioned, actually both times she was in Gucci. The one in actually kind of coordinating with me with all the pearls.
Yes.
She was actually announcing the pregnancy of her second child here. So she looked amazing as per usual. And then, I mean, oh my God, the feather boa, the catsuit, even her face, like she's just giving all the way through. So that is her both times in Gucci.
Okay, Ben Simmons in Tom Brown in 2024.
Oh, yeah.
I love this look.
This is so, you would look amazing.
I want to, thank you.
You look so good in this.
Do you know who his designer is? Could we steal from him?
I know, this is Tom Brown.
Sorry.
So Tom Brown, even as you mentioned, like Doechii has like dressed many of them. Tom Brown, I think tonight specifically when it comes to dandyism, he is just, oh my God. The brand is just amazing when it comes to tailoring and suiting and structure. And I think we're going to see a lot of that in very interesting ways tonight. So this designer is actually one to watch. Of course, we have Brittany Griner as well in Calvin Klein, a custom fit which we love to see. Classic, but I just love the like simplicity of the sheer. And also, I mean, them as a couple, they're just beautiful.
Yes,
So.
and this was the year that she actually came back to the USA after being in prison. So I think her stylist was talking about like the rebirth, and I think that was a theme that year as well.
Yes, I believe 2023. I want to say.
Oh no, it was Karl Lagerfeld. Karl Lagerfeld. It was the year of Karl Lagerfeld. Light
But
of Beauty.
simple and classy. Stefan Diggs, Tommy Hilfiger. I mean, he's been in attendance a few times. He's also one in terms of like the league fits, the tunnel fits that I love to watch myself. He's just in terms of having like a very, very strong build. And on top and bottom for him, he does tailoring and like the balancing of the eye just absolutely perfectly.
And last but not least, actually we have Odell Beckham. Actually, we have one more after this, but Odell Beckham in J Cactus Plant Flea.
Yes. Cactus Plant Flea Market, which is actually a streetwear brand. So this was just a super, super cool look. I do think we're going to see a lot of that as well this evening. Something that's a little less structured and like classic suiting and maybe more like an interpretation of dandyism in like a cool mixed up way like this, which is really, really fun.
Last but not least, the GOAT, Simone Biles.
Oh my God, yes. So she's only actually attended the Met once, which to me is crazy. But something like this is the perfect example of how good your stylist, your tailor, your glam team have to be in terms of curating a cohesive look. She just looks like insane. And Area, the designer themselves, is so known for this beadwork and the whole thing being crystallized. She's like gorgeous. She's a little work of art. Yes. She's just, you know,
to tailor or like to style a body quite short as Simone Biles. What is kind of the challenges in dressing these athletes, and they come in so many ranges of size?
So for myself, my background a lot of the time is in the commercial space with athletes. So they're really quick turnaround, but we have to make sure that things are well tailored to them. Of course, things like wingspans on like an NBA player or, you know, shoulder spans for someone who's a swimmer. There's so many different things, but I think at the end of the day, I think when it comes to bodies as a whole, my role as a stylist is always to make sure everyone feels as comfortable as possible so then they look confident on camera. I really think it comes down to the fact, especially when they're working with designers, that, you know, if you know who you're dressing, you know their assets, you know what to highlight, and also just hearing them if there's things that they want to, you know, make sure are a little more seamless or like, you know, in, snatched in as well. Same thing with myself always. So, you know, it's just one of those things that I think is a very happy merriment that we like to see. And that's why I love seeing athletes on the red carpet.
Yeah. And let's talk about, like, you know, you kind of touched on this really earlier, but athletes are not only fashion muses, but they're now brand ambassadors. Yes. Where do you see the future of this going?
Oh my gosh, just more and more and more, and give me all of it. I think especially when it comes to women in sports right now, the PWHL, the WNBA, we're seeing so much of that light kind of shift to them. We even saw it, my favorite thing right now to reference is the Nike ad that was playing during the Super Bowl, which was just basically like, you know, women are going to be labeled certain things, but just do it anyways. So I think there's like a huge diversity and inclusion. And I know those words get tossed around a lot, but it is one of those things where, you know, a theme like tonight is really showcasing the beautiful individuality that people can have. And I think athletes in these spaces is so important just so everyone can kind of see themselves up there. Yeah.
And of course, we're going through a time where attacking even just a little bit of like history of blackness and dandyism and what we've given to the community is kind of under attack. But that was such a beautiful way to end. But before we do that, who would you love to work with as a fashion stylist?
Oh my God. Okay, well, for tonight specifically, I have to go our queen, especially because now she's with the Toronto Tempo, Serena Williams. I mean, she's just like icon. You can't really get better than that. But my long term is Alona Maher, who's our rugby player.
Rugby player from the US.
She is incredible. And she just like did a Sports Illustrated thing. She looked amazing. I'll see if she's in attendance tonight, but if not, her team will get an email from me very, very soon because she's on my watch list.
Oh my God. Well, Andrea, thank you so much for lending your expertise, your time.
Thank you for
look
having
fabulous.
me.
Let me know if you do any pro bono work. I'll pay too.
Yeah,
I got
we'll
a
talk after
christening
this.
coming up, a wedding,
I
my
got you.
nephew's
I got
kindergarten
you.
graduation.
I know,
Big events, big
thanks.
events.
Yeah, we need the suits. We need the dandyism all year round.
Absolutely,
Yeah.
I agree. And of course, the Met Gala will be streaming on Vogue at 6 p.m. Eastern. And again, thank you so much for all the time and enjoy.
Thank you so much.